Good evening. The word of the day is exception. Today was a day that would have caused an exception to one of the rules that my father used to use. A lot of times when he was doing something, he would tell me something that he had kind of planned it by. For example, if we were out doing something like cutting wood, we always had to load the biggest pieces first to get the hardest job out of the way. Because if we did the smaller pieces first and got tired, then we probably wouldn't do the big pieces. There was some wisdom in that, and it helped us get the job done completely most of the time. But another rule that he had, a lot of people might say, was like a sign. You know, a lot of people used to talk about the signs to do this or the signs to do that. He didn't believe too much in the signs. He said some of them were just based on superstitions, although I believe some of them were just based on observations. Those people watched what happened around them and knew that these certain happenings meant that certain other things would be happening as well. And this rule that he had was kind of like that. He said that when the dogwoods bloomed out full, you could plant most anything you wanted to and not worry about it. Well, this year would have been an exception, because the dogwoods here at my house have been blooming now for 2 weeks. And this morning, if you'd had something planted outside and you hadn't taken steps to protect it, it probably would not have survived unless it was a cold season crop. We had planted some Irish potatoes and a few of them had come up, and they were frostbitten this morning. My daughter told me when she left for work this morning, which she leaves about daylight every morning, that it was 22 degrees on the thermometer in her truck. That kind of weather will damage a lot of plants. So this year would have been an exception to his rule about planting things when the dogwoods bloom. Maybe that's fitting for the year that we've just had, because there's been a lot of exceptions to a lot of things that people normally would expect. Who would have ever expected you to have to put a mask on to go in the bank? If you'd done that a few years ago, they would have been coming to arrest you because they thought they were going to rob the place. Now, if you don't have a mask on, they're coming to fuss at you because you're spreading this dreaded virus. Now, I'm not against wearing masks. That's not my point here. I'm just saying there's been a lot of exceptions in the past year. But most of the time, the rule works. Example, my father's rule about the dogwoods blooming. I'm almost 60 years old, and I've been watching things like that probably for about 50 years now. And I can only remember 2 years in particular that rule would not have worked. So about 4% of the time, it was not working. So that makes me think that hopefully soon this year of exceptions will be over, and we'll get back to a more normal way of life. And if that happens, no exceptions will make everybody have a great day.